Yes.
All right.
We got it. I knew we were going to make this happen. I've said,
So,
Derrick, I said I'm glad it's happening now rather when you're on some big news conference or anything like that. You just work out the kinks with me. That's fine. Double
right.
Nickel, always great to catch up with you, man. Thank you so much, and
Yes.
congratulations on your new gig there with USF. Just take us through the decision process, man. You and I both
Oh,
know Rob Higgins and how
yes.
the influence with him. And I know you're Dania's dad most of the time wearing green and gold too. Just take us through that thought
Yes.
process, man, of joining up and now being the COO.
Well, first, thank God here, Jay, for the opportunity. And apparently, this came from left field, right field, center field. You know, I did not see this coming. This was definitely a trick play. But Rob started the conversation with Steve Griggs, our CEO at Vintage Sports Group, about his challenges here, things that he was going through, and felt he needed some help, and mentioned my name as someone who wanted to have a conversation with, because I was obviously instrumental in terms of Rob's words of helping him land the job. He bounced a lot of ideas off me, and everyone knows our relationship. So Rob just kind of went back through history and said with the sports commission and working with me, we've had a lot of success together. And asked Steve, hey, if I talk to Derrick, do you mind? And Steve Griggs, being, who he is, of course not. I understand you and Derrick's relationship, but I think Derrick's pretty happy at BSG. So don't, but we had a conversation, and fast forward, Jay, just through a series of meetings. Uh, Here, the past couple of weeks, things started to speed up. So as I talked to Steve Griggs, really just asking him for his honest opinion. Hey, how did this lay out for me? What are you honestly, what are you thinking? And he said, hey, I hate to lose you here at Vintage Sports Group, but here's the opportunity that has he see it. And he laid down some really important things. One, just being involved with the collegiate sports. He knows I'm pretty plugged in. Secondly, he knows Rob trusts me. I think that's probably the biggest factor is trust. Obviously, our work history of success, and just looking into the future. Hey, where's the biggest impact? He think that I can have on the most people in this position. So I took that conversation and talked to Mr. Vinnick about it as well, because he was the reason I'm in the position. So I say, take you back, 15 years ago, Mr. V. The What attracted me here to work for you, and he did. He laid out some of the very similar things that Steve did, and he talked about the opportunity which I'd never thought of. Hey, this gets you back in your wheelhouse of working with young people on a daily basis. Obviously, your foundation, your school, but this is a whole new level when we're talking student athletes involvement. You know, 500 of them on a day-to-day basis. Like, how could you spring that forward with this opportunity? And helping Rob build something, not build something from the ground up, but build something now and taking it to the next level. And I was a part of the executive team that was able to do that with the Tampa Bay Lightning starting in 2011, and I just want to bring that experience here. So that's kind of how things fast forwarded between a series of conversation that Rob had, obviously with Steve, and I'm talking to Mr. Vinnick, and finally my family. Uh, I laid it all out to my wife Carol and talked to the kids, and everyone was excited about the potential of this opportunity. Obviously there's some stipulations there with Dania. I gotta make I gotta make sure that I stay out of her way. Her and her mom, but in all seriousness, no, they're excited for me with this opportunity, and the icing on the cake for me, Jay, is driving, very soon after, I told Rob that I would do it. Just driving home, it hit me that this is something a lot of people don't get a chance to do in life. Uh, for me as a father, three out of my four kids, like all four of my kids, college graduates, two of them, they're masters. And I get a chance to experience 3 out of the 4, their collegiate experience at this point in their life. You know, my son, when he surprised me by going to Florida State, his football career. My second son, Darius, who works at the College of Education here. And finally, Dania, student athlete here, softball player. I get a chance to be a part of that, all three on a daily basis, you know, as a dad. And that's something that a lot of people don't get a chance to do.
That's a beautiful thing. And I had Ian Beckles, your good buddy, on earlier today, and he goes, I said, what did you think about, Derrick? And he goes, obviously it's the perfect hire. And he brought up something, he brought up something, and I know it means a lot to you too, Derrick. He goes, this is what Leroy Selman would have wanted. Yeah. Leroy, and we know, and I've heard you talk about Leroy so many different times. And I mean, it's really cool to be able to see what he was a part of helping build from the beginning to kind of usher in this kind of like this new wave of USF athletics, isn't it?
Yes. I'd be remiss without, saying that was a big part, of me walking through these doors too, as well as Rob. When we talk about winning the building and changing the culture and getting everybody aligned and going in the same direction, that's something that Mr. Selman did for this university, whether it was in the USF Foundation or his tenure here in the athletic department. He did that. He synergized a vision, he infused culture, and everybody wanted to pull their hardest and their best effort, for him. I want to create that. I want to be a part of it. Man, big shout outs to Miss Claver, Leroy Selman Jr. They've always, encouraged me or even thanked me at times for my relationship here with USF. But now in this position, to see them bless it in the manner that they see his legacy, I just want to continue to build on it. It's not ironic, man. The first time I stepped foot on this campus was through that invitation with Leroy to come speak to the coaches. Hey, I'm starting this football program, these coaches, and now a stadium is being built on where those trailers were. Way back then that I walked on this campus, and now I get a chance to probably take one of the most valuable assets now in the state of Florida, a brand new football stadium, and be a part of launching it forward.
Yeah, it's exciting. And we're seeing the more and more of a spotlight being put on USF. We know that basketball tips off tonight, 6 and 8 o'clock. Men's and women's basketball. Go USFBulls.com. One ticket gets you 2 games. The first game in the tenure of Michelle Woods-Baxter and Coach Brian Hodson. Can't not wait for that. And then football. We're seeing that Sports Center is coming on Thursday to the Student Center. I mean, I've been saying this for years, Derrick, but if you need any more proof, I mean, look at what's going on. I mean, it's got to be exciting because you're a Tampa guy, like to be able to be a part of something that is really, and I know Rob doesn't want to talk about like, the prospect or the future, like it's here now, Derrick. I mean, that's got to be exciting to be a part of.
Yes, it is. As we look forward and look at, what are the things that make us great, and that's staying in the now and capitalizing on every moment, every mission, everything now, and then you move on to the next one and creating those great habits. So this is part of our culture. Whereas Sports Center here, we want to make it a norm. We want to be that university that, hey, when the schedule comes out, hey, we're going to Tampa. These many times. We're working towards that. That is our goal. But for right now, we're going to celebrate and make this the most memorable experience that they possibly can have by coming to our student center here this Thursday. So it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be fun. It's going to be energetic. And, our players, our coaches, our university deserve it. So we want to match that energy and now take that energy to the stadium and get a win against a very, very tough team in UTSA.
Yeah, and then next week we got to go up to Navy and beat them. Sorry, Michael Kelly, we're gonna have to take this win from you, my friend. How important is that, Derrick? The entire Team Tampa Bay thing, because you were there a couple of years ago when we were. It was like I think it was the Monday before the Super Bowl. We were at Sparkman Wharf, and the gentleman came off and he's like, "Yeah, I thought Team Tampa Bay was kind of like hokey," and then he goes, "And then I look at all the teams represented here." And he's like, it's a real thing, isn't it? And those words rang so true with me because I was like, yeah, it's not just some slogan. Like the teams do care about each other, like the Lightning and USF and Bucks and Rays and Rowdies, like Sun, everybody. Like, how great is to be able to see that, Derrick? Because I was just watching the Buccaneers and the origination of the Buccaneers and their first win, and how, you know, football brought this community together. And going from the late 70s to now, I mean, just in your time here in the Tampa Bay area, how nice is it that Team Tampa Bay really is a real thing?
It is. And it's more than just nice, Jay. It's a culture. It's an identity. You know, it's a real feeling. And we're proud of it. Whether it's a Tampa Bay slogan or a Team Tampa slogan, all of it means, you know, winning. And we're going to win as people. As Coach Dungy, I finally remember back in 96 when he talked about, at that time, the Bucks being a team that the community is proud of. Well, right now, all these teams are teams that the community can be proud of and the community feel a part of. That's the most memorable thing for me during our championship run in 2002. It was the downtown parade, and seeing everybody from the Bay Area celebrate this championship just like they played a snap of football, because they did. They did. They played through us. And the 50th anniversary, man, those guys from the late 70s holding that Super Bowl trophy just like they played a snap in that game. You know what? They did, because they're a part of it. So for me, Team Tampa is a culture. It's a real thing. And it's something that we all got to continue to buy in from generations, from my generation, your generations, our kids' generation. We got to continue to be that momentum. And USF is going to be a centerpiece of that. Because, hey, look at all the students that we have here. We're probably one of the biggest employers of people here in Tampa. And we want that culture. We want to start here in the building. That's named out there. Leroy Selman, you talk that over. Win this building. Now let's go to the campus. Win the campus. Dr. Moaz coming in, new president, love him. His energy's coming. Now, we as a culture, a building, a campus, now let's go win the community all together. And to say Team Tampa, there's a lot of seats on that boat. Not that car. We talking boat. We talking boat parades here for championships. We do it in the water.
Yeah. Did you now when you saw the Lightning and the Bucks have a boat parade? Did you go, "Damn, we could have done that"? Did you think that?
No. At that time, man, I would have walked across a grass patch and just celebrate a championship. I didn't care where we was going. So, no, but man, that's one of the most beautiful things out of COVID. You know, that was birth. Boat parades, you know, on the Hillsborough River. So we plan to have our fair share of parades here at Tampa, here with USF.
No doubt about it. All right, Derrick, before I let you go, man, I got to ask you about the Bucks, man. And I've been so, using a USF term, I've been so bullish on the Bucks this year, just because I love the identity of this team. I love that they can sustain injuries. And I'm in that locker room, Derrick. Nobody says anything about it. It's like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to complain? Like, we got to focus on the matter at hand. We got to focus on going ahead. They're 6-2. They got obviously a tough game coming up against New England. But man, I feel really good about this Buccaneers team, because the leadership all the way down, regardless of the injuries. What's your kind of overall assessment of the team this year, and what do you think could be their, what the future could look like this season?
Well, they're right where I thought they would be, in first place at the midway point. The bye coming at a great time for them. Very few teams get a bye week 8, 9, and 10. Right. And they're fortunate, could usually get some guys back healthy this week, going against a New England team that's just as hot as the Bucks, right now. But we got them at home. So they're right where I expected them to be. They got their minds gas pedal only, keeping what's ahead of them. Not worrying about who's behind them in the division, taking care of their own business, and that's the game at hand. And Coach Bowles, man, he does not get enough credit.
Right.
And I say that every time somebody asks me about the Bucks. It starts with him. He and the relationship with Jason Light, man, they don't get enough credit. But just keep winning and things will happen. Obviously, Baker, MVP, type of season through the first half, and I hope he continues that here the second half. Now, one area that I would like for some improvement is definitely on the pass rush. We got to be able to win. We got to be able to win some one-on-one matchups where the risk reward gets us out of a comfort zone where coach has to take too many risks to get pressure and create disruption on defense against the opposing offense. Teams now are too good, and they're making you pay on offense, man, if you go to that well too much. So if we can kind of get some isolated one-on-one wins where coach don't have to get as risky and creative on the back end, I think that's an improvement on defense, and continue to win the turnover battle. Keep winning the turnover battle, staying ahead of the sticks. I think we'll be fine.
I got to ask you, Levante David. I know people on the outside. I love the guy, and I've been able to cover him for 12 years now. I was hoping that the success of the team happened earlier in his career, some more primetime games. We just got to keep loving on Levante and Mike while they're here. And, I'm going to keep busting Ira's balls. Like, come on, Ira. Ira. Come on, we got to talk up Levante David, Ira. Come on. But it's just, these two guys really have kind of taken that mantle from you and Rondé and the guys, and really have led this team both on and off the field, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Can't say enough. As I told Mike Evans, in a lot of these promotions here for the 50th season, I think he's well deserving. If I was shooting that same scene with Levante, I'd tell him the same thing. Can't say enough about these young men who weathered some tough times early on in their career, and they just stayed consistent, putting the work in. And obviously, two of the better players in this league right now, two of the most celebrated careers right now. So I don't want to talk about them too much in terms of me writing them off, because they are still in the midst of it, and their focus is obviously on it right now. We're praying for Mike to come back this season, and hopefully later in the season he's back to help us down the stretch in the playoff run, and Levante continue to play well and stay healthy throughout the season, because we're going to need his leadership and his impact here as we get into the second half of the season.
Bucks 6-2, Bolts on a 5-game winning streak, and of course, a lot of great things happening at USF. All the information, go to gousfbulls.com. He's the Hall of Famer and COO of USF Athletics, our good friend Derrick Brooks. Derrick, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your week, and go Bulls, my friend.
Go Bulls. Go Bulls.
Thank you, sir.